Now, I made a video yesterday about this where I pointed out that I found it very weird that the media was constantly talking about Blizzard's sexual misconduct every time they mentioned the company in any article whatsoever. So, for example, if they would talk about how World of Warcraft has a new patch, they would say, World of Warcraft, created by Activision Blizzard, which is recently in a sex scandal, has been released last week. So, you know that the media never does this with any other event. I mean, they don't say, today, the President of the United States, who has been accused of sexual misconduct many times in the past, is issuing his statement on the July the 4th celebration. Let us go to CNN, who recently fired 2 of their anchors for sexual misconduct, to get on the scene and see how people celebrate the 4th of July. Right? I mean, they don't do this. They never do this. And for some reason, when it came to Blizzard, they were doing it constantly, nonstop. And it didn't make that much sense to me at the time. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's because the media is progressive and they're more feminist oriented. But again, like, they don't do this with other companies. They don't do this with CNN. They don't do this with politicians, like the US president. I mean, almost every politician has accusations against them, right? I mean, just because it's an accusation doesn't mean it's proven or anything. But they don't do it. So I've been thinking a little bit, and then it clicked. And I have a theory, or like the edgy people like to say, a conspiracy theory. Because right now, every single hypothesis or every single accusation is a conspiracy theory, except accusations about sexual assault. All of them are true. But everything else, like if you accuse someone of acting in a dishonest manner, no, it's a conspiracy theory, right? Like companies want to make money. That's a conspiracy theory. Yes, companies are conspiring to make money. And if it's a conspiracy theory, it means it's not true, and it means that whomever brings it up should be censored. But hear me out, right? You look at the stocks, and we know that Microsoft just bought Blizzard for a couple of billions of dollars, so it's not pocket change. Now, when you look at November, like October, November, like here is where the articles really start popping up in the media. Like this is where all of the outrage from the progressive press starts churning in. And you can notice how it affects their stocks. Like the stocks keep going lower and lower and lower. Right? And when Microsoft bought it, I believe it's somewhere here, right? Like 14th of January, or it's getting close to this date, right? The difference is about $10 to $20 a stock. So we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in difference. This is the good deal that Microsoft got simply because the Blizzard stocks were going down. And again, like the Blizzard stocks were going down not because of the quality of their games. It's not like people were complaining about, oh my god, the new World of Warcraft is losing subscribers. No, the stocks is correlated with the bad press that they got. So it's got nothing to do with the pandemic. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's just like the bad PR, the bad press. And what's interesting is that this is done a lot. I mean, there's people at Wall Street that come out and talk about this tactic. Usually it's done when it comes to short selling. So when they want to short sell stocks, they get their friends in the media to start putting out bad information about that particular company to get the stocks to plummet. But it can also happen like in this case, right? Because the acquisition, like when Microsoft wants to acquire Blizzard, that doesn't happen overnight. Like it's not like one day it's like, hey, you know what? We should buy that company. No, like usually they think about this and they have meetings and it can take up to a year. So they were planning for this acquisition to take place way before they actually did it. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, do I think that Microsoft got everyone in the media to write bad stories about Blizzard? Probably not, but the way it works, if you look at how the media operates nowadays, especially the gaming press, they're very lazy. They don't really like to make their own articles. Like, you get one publication making an article and then everyone copies that publication. So it's enough if you convince 2 or 3 journalists to publish similar articles, because then all of them follow suit. It's almost like an army of soldiers going in lockstep. You're not going to find like people on Polygon disagreeing with the people on Kotaku or, you know, post news that are entirely different. No, like they agree with each other. So if you get like 2 or 3 major publications to post something that you want, well, then you have the snowball rolling. And, well, as you can see, the damage that they've been doing is quite significant. My cat is upset about it. But anyway, regarding the acquisition itself, Honestly, I don't really care because Blizzard is not Blizzard anymore. I mean, think about it. Almost every single person that works at Blizzard isn't the same people that worked on Warcraft 3, that worked on World of Warcraft, like the games that actually made Blizzard great. None of those people work there, and the ones that work there aren't even designing the new games. Right? So, like, for example, Mr. Kotick, right? Like, he used to be one of the first people, but now he's in a manager position. Like, he's in a CEO position. He's not the actual person coding and designing and doing the art style and whatnot. And you can see, you can see with Warcraft 3 Reforged, the catastrophe that happened. You can see it with how bad World of Warcraft is right now compared to what it used to be. I mean, they're very lazy. They're not even going to make a World of Warcraft 2.0 to remake the engine, to bring the game to modern standards. Like, they're not doing any of that. You can see with Overwatch just what a disaster that is. I have no idea about Hearthstone, though, because I haven't played it. But the fact that they didn't want to have a chat into Hearthstone completely made the game less popular than it could have been. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Hearthstone is literally one of the first games that I can think of with multiplayer and no chat. And it came out on PC, right? So we're not talking about that and iPad. Which meant that when you played Hearthstone, it felt like you're playing a single-player game with a computer. Like, it didn't feel like you're interacting with another human being, and that's one of the reasons that I stopped. So it's just like a complaint. But like, what I'm trying to say is that I don't expect Blizzard is going to make good games anymore. The only thing that might surprise me, like what might subvert my expectations, is if they make an average game. So if they make an average game, I'll be like, okay, fine. That's interesting. So maybe Diablo 4 is going to be interesting, but like that probably will come out in 2, maybe 3 years. So it is what it is. I just don't care that Microsoft bought Blizzard, to be honest. The only thing that I do care is that we notice the centralization of games. Just like with the centralization of movies. So you now have a couple of companies that own almost all of the AAA games. And that is very concerning. It's not good for the customer. It's not good for creativity. It's not good for anyone. And it's unfortunate. I mean, look at the movies. I said this in my previous video. Every single movie is a remake, is a sequel, it's a prequel. They don't come up with any original titles. Just, you need to struggle really hard to think of a single original title that came out during the last 3 years. Everything is already made. So that's why I don't really care about the fact that Microsoft bought Blizzard, but it is concerning that Microsoft is buying almost everything. It's like the Disney of computer games. So yeah, hashtag concerning, especially when the Xbox chief talks about cross-realm platform banning and whatever nonsense. Because if you have like 2 or 3 companies, they can get their TOS together and they collaborate with each other to start banning consumers. And for these companies, banning consumers is very profitable because, well, if you get banned from your PlayStation account, then you need to buy another PlayStation, right? And a lot of people are addicted to video games and they're probably going to do it. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.